We've created a 501c4 organization called the Mississippi Civil Justice Alliance. And our goal is to protect fairness and stability in Mississippi's courts. We created the Civil Justice Alliance to protect tort reform laws, make gains where possible, and monitor rulings and opinions from our appellate courts, and to make sure that the business community and the medical community and just the general public understand how these different rulings affect the business climate here in Mississippi. The Mississippi Civil Justice Alliance is a statewide nonpartisan alliance of organizations and individuals representing trade associations, professional organizations, healthcare providers, again with the goal of protecting the gains that Mississippi has made in the civil justice arena and furthering those gains where possible. But again, also as important, watching what's happening at our appellate court levels, the decisions that the justices are making, and how they affect the business community and just everyday Mississippians. So you can go to our website, msciviljustice.org. You can find a bunch of information there pertaining to recent rulings from our Supreme Court and our Court of Appeals. Also, keeping up with trends not only here in Mississippi but around the country as it pertains to lawsuit abuse and things that we need to be mindful of here in Mississippi to make sure that we don't revert back to the days, in the early 2000s when tort reform was instituted here in Mississippi. Prior to that, Mississippi was really kind of known as jackpot justice, and many of our court systems around the state were known as judicial hellholes. And we've done a lot to improve that here in Mississippi, mainly through the legislature and the tort reforms that were enacted in 2002 and 2004. So on our website, the information that we're going to be providing to the business community and to the general public is going to be information that we're monitoring and that we're watching so that we can make sure we protect the tort reform gains that we've made. Right now, again, I would encourage folks to visit the website, and you'll be able to see a number of cases that we've reported on that have recent decisions by our Supreme Court, a couple of which are concerning in terms of how they are starting to perhaps undo some of the gains that we've made over the years. One deals with venue, which is where you can actually bring a lawsuit, in this case against a medical provider, and then also a case dealing with the non-economic caps that the legislature imposed here in Mississippi in 2004. There's some concerning rulings that we feel like might be the beginning of challenging the constitutionality of those caps. So that information is, I think, very interesting for the business community and the general public to check out. The other things, again, that we will be monitoring is developments at the legislature. One issue that I think is going to be important this legislative session is the Landowner Protection Act that deals with premise liability is another name for it, but it deals with protecting the landowner from a frivolous lawsuit, essentially. And so that's an issue that's actually moving through the process in the legislature and something that we'll monitor closely because it affects every business owner in the state. To reiterate, the types of things that the Mississippi Civil Justice Association will be involved in, reviewing and reporting on Supreme Court and Court of Appeals rulings, educating the general public about judicial candidates. Of course, here in Mississippi, we elect our appellate judges, monitoring and reporting on issues at the legislature concerning civil justice. We will lead amicus efforts with the business community when we feel like there's an important case at the appellate level that the business community needs to weigh in on. Also submitting rules for comment with the courts, and then monitoring issues coming from the Mississippi Bar, all those issues affect the business climate here in Mississippi.